NICOLA Sturgeon is using votes the SNP received at the general election in support of their opposition to Brexit to fuel the grievance of independence. Ian Murray has claimed as the Scottish candidate for Labour's deputy leadership warned his party that it was facing a cliff edge. The MP for Edinburgh South, who launched his campaign this week, will join his rivals as well as those candidates for the leadership at the first party hustings in Liverpool today. In an exclusive interview with the Herald, Mr. Murray, who is up against the favourite Angela Rayner for the deputy's role, explained one reason why he survived the SNP landslide and his 6 Labour colleagues did not. "In my seat the SNP and Lib Dem candidates couldn't be more pro-EU than me. I set up the People's Vote campaign, Even Nationalists, through gritted teeth, appreciated what I was doing on Europe and I was passionate about it." Coupled with his forceful opposition to the Conservatives and the Nationalists' demand for independence, Mr. Murray eased home with an 11,000-plus majority. With Brexit the dominant factor in the election, he suggested in other seats Remainers, opposed to independence, backed the SNP candidate to articulate their pro-Europeanness. But, he argued, those 2 votes are now being used, appropriated, as a mandate for independence, to fuel the grievance of independence for NICOLA Sturgeon. There is a bit of anger and frustration about that. Mr. Murray, 43, played down the call by some to establish a campaign to rejoin the EU, saying the reality was that Britain would leave the EU on January 31 and the country would have to consider how things panned out. But he was keen to stress, there is no hiding place from Boris's Brexit Bull's tea because anything that happens between now and when we leave, and beyond when we leave, is firmly at his door. As Labour goes through its long post-mortem on its terrible election defeat, the Labour stressed his party was not at a crossroads, a cliff edge. "We are sitting in the car with the engine running at the edge of the cliff and we have an opportunity to hit reverse or we can slam into first gear and put our foot on the mushroom," that's a French phrase for slam the accelerator, and become a perpetual and reducing influence as a party of opposition. Needless to say, Mr. Murray prefers the former option. But he is clear what went wrong at the election. The party had the right analysis but the wrong policies, the wrong leader in Jeremy Corbyn, was confused over the NDIF2 process and faced 2 ways on the key issue of Brexit. In a nutshell, Labour lacked credibility. Throwing sweets around is the last thing a party does when they know they're going to lose. And they knew they were going to lose because the shadow cabinet was told and they still voted for an election. For more on this story, visit the news article link.